This video shows you how to do the pencil sharpener. So this is just an image of it once it's done, just so you see the drawing. This is the drawing you can use to create the pencil sharpener. So what I'm going to do is start an inch part. Go to New. Make sure you're in the English template and pick the standard inch file. All right, so you're going to want to start a 2D sketch. And I don't like when it flips the orientation of your top view, so I'm going to rotate this so horizontal is truly horizontal. And the way you start this is you're actually going to draw an ellipse. And I want it centered on the origin, just like you always want to do. And I'm just going to draw this for now, and then I'll come back and dimension it. So you click on the edge, you can click on the center. There we go. So if you just click on the ellipse itself, it will give you the center. You don't have to click on the center point or your origin, you just click on the outside of the ellipse. So I'm going to put this down, and this is going to be the dimension on your sheet divided by 2, since the dimension on your sheet gives you the entire width, and this is only half of the width. And as you can see, it got much smaller. Now I'm going to click on the ellipse again. And this is the 0.75, and again divided by 2. I'm going to move this up just so that my sketch is a little bit more. It's a little smaller. If you ever want to move dimensions, you have to grab the actual number, not the arrows. All right, so that's our ellipse. What we're going to do now is extrude this. And it's going to have a taper, which is what gives it the shape that it's getting bigger or smaller as it goes. So I'm actually going to flip the direction so that it's going down, because I want this to be considered the top. And the height of this is 1.25 inches if you look on your drawing. Now if you go to more, this is where the taper comes in. So we want a 10-degree taper, and we want it to get bigger as it goes down. So I'm going to leave it as a positive taper. And now we have the overall shape. Next, what you want to do is put the holes in the top. So if you notice on the drawing, the 2 holes in the top have different depths to them. So you can imagine one is, whoops, I didn't mean to click that. One is for a longer and fatter pencil, or a bigger diameter pencil if you want to call it that, and one is for a shorter, skinnier pencil. Doesn't matter what order you draw them in, but you need to click on this face to start your sketch. Again, it rotates my view, which I don't like, so I'm going to rotate it back. And now we're just going to draw a circle. You can't draw both of them at the same time because you're extruding them to different distances. All right, so the diameter of the bigger one is on the drawing. So you need both the diameter of the circle and the location of the circle. So I'm going to dimension from the center point out to the center of the circle. And for whatever reason, it's picking, there we go. And we can just extrude this right away. It is not being joined, so we're going to cut. And the depth it goes down to is 0.75. Now you can see we have one hole cut. And I forgot to taper this cut. So because of the shape of the pencil, the end of the pencil always has a cone shape rather than a cylinder. So we need to go back into that extrusion and do a taper. Now this is going to be a negative taper because you want it to get smaller as you go. As you can see now, it's getting smaller. And it's again a 10 degree. And now for the hole for the smaller pencil. I forgot to, sorry, I have to create the sketch first, of course. And this time we're going to take the dimension from the other circle, just because that's what the drawing gave us. And I see that it's not fully constrained. It's probably that this circle is, yep, not across from or aligned with horizontally. So I'm going to pick the horizontal constraint, and now it's fully constrained. So again, I'm going to extrude this, but this goes to a different depth. And again, its default is typically joined, so I'm going to cut. And this distance is 1/2 inch. And again, I forgot to taper it. We're going to go back in and edit. And again, it's going to be a negative because we want it to get smaller. All right, so now you can see we have the pencil sharpener, but the problem is that it's solid. The reason this would not work is you need the pencil shavings to come out the bottom. So you need this to be hollow. So the last step we're going to do is to shell the part. So shelling the part gives everything an equal thickness. If you hover over this, it'll show you. It removes material from an interior part, and it creates basically a hollow cavity or a hollow space inside of your part. I think the best thing would just be to do it, and you'll see what I mean. So the thickness is going to be 0.05 or 50 thousandths of an inch, and you need to remove faces. If you don't remove faces, you're going to have a hollow part. You can sort of see it in this preview. It's hollow, but you can't get to the inside of it, so that still wouldn't make much sense because the pencil sharpening, the shavings would not fall out. So I'm going to click this to make sure that I can remove faces, rotate to the bottom view, and pick this bottom surface. So now that means all the bottom is hollow, but you also need to remove this face and this face so that at the bottom, these shavings will actually come out through the top. So now if you look, actually let me just hit OK. Okay, now the last thing you want to do is color it. So you can click on part here and pick whatever color you want. Let's make it green this time. Now if you look, it's hollow on the inside. You can see through the holes for the pencil. Your home view is set because you used the top view. You can save it as pencil sharpener and you are done.